All right, everybody, it is time for this month's edition of Booking Forward, where we look forward to all the books that are coming out next month. And I'm bringing this in sideways because it is the day before next month. So here we go for September. First and foremost coming out, not in any particular order, but I had this one on my list for a while, so it's at the top. Fiend by Alma Katsu is coming out. That's going to be dropping September 16th. I am interviewing her, so I've already started reading the book. I am about 60% of the way through, and I am loving it so far, so we'll have to see how that one wraps up. But so far, looking awesome. Basically, the gist of that one is the Berisha family runs out of one of the largest import-export companies in the world, and they've always been lucky. Their rivals suffer strokes, inconvenient buildings catch on fire, earthquakes swallow up manufacturing plants, destroying harmful evidence. Things always seem to work out for the Berishas. They are blessed. At least that is what Zeph, the patriarch, has always told his three children, and each of them knows their place in the family. Darden, as the only male heir, must prepare to take over as keeper of the Berisha secrets. Maris's most powerful contribution, much to her dismay, will be to marry strategically, and Nora's job as the youngest is to just stay out of the way. But when things stop going as planned and the family blessing starts looking more like a curse, the Berishas begin to splinter, each hatching their own secret scheme. They didn't get to be one of the richest families in the world without spilling a little blood, but this time it might be their own. Again, definitely has got a little bit of horror going on in here, and I am here for it. And hopefully I pronounced the Berishas correctly. I have no idea. I do know it's an Albanian name. That's all I know. All right. Also coming out next month, in fact, a couple days from now, Honey Eater by Kathleen Jennings is dropping on the 2nd. Subtropical Belworth is founded on floodplains and root-bound secrets, and Charlie, remarkable only for her vanished friends and a successful sister, plans to leave for good just as soon as he deals with his dead aunt's house. Then Grace arrives, desperate with roses pressing up through her skin, and drags Charlie into the ghost-choked mysteries of Belworth, uncovering the impossible consequences of loss and desire, and a choice Charlie made when he was a boy. But peeling back the rumors and lies that cocoon the suburb disturbs more than complacent neighbors and lost souls, and Charlie and Grace are forced to a decision that threatens not only their lives, but all they believed those lives could be. Another one coming out. This one's coming out by Tor. Totally looking forward to that one, and going to see where that goes. Now, this one is definitely sounding interesting. It's called The Maiden and Her Monster, coming out by Maddie Martinez. It's dropping September 9th. The forest eats the girls who wander out after dark. Okay, you've already got my attention. As the healer's daughter, Malka has seen how the wood's curse has plagued her village, but the Osmini Church only comes to collect its tithe, not to protect heretics with false stories of monsters in the trees. So when a clergy girl wanders too close to the forest and Malka's mother accused of her murder, Malka strikes an impossible bargain with a zealot Osmini priest. If she brings the monster out, he will spare her mother from execution. When she ventures into the shadowed woods, Malka finds a monster, though not the one she expects. An inscrutable disgraced golem who agrees to implicate herself, but only if Malka helps her fulfill a promise first and free the imprisoned rabbi who created her. But a deal easily made is not easily kept, and as their bargain begins to unravel a much more sinister threat, protecting her people may force Malka to endanger the one person she left home to save, and face her growing feelings for the very creature she was taught to fear. So, another one sounds right up my alley. Going to be hopefully checking that out at some point. Nobody look at my TBR. All right. This series I'm behind on, but if I don't tell you that this book is coming out, I will be doing you a disservice. So John Scalzi's latest book in the Old Man's War series, Book 7, is finally coming out. It's called Shattering Peace, dropping September 16th. I'm actually not going to go into this one because, again, this is a Book 7 in a series, and if you're behind, I don't want to tell you anything about it in case that gives away some spoilers. And you're either picking up Book 7 in Scalzi series or you're not. Just reminding you that it's there. If you're a John Scalzi fan and if you haven't started Old Man War yet, at least pick up Book 1, give it a read, see what you think. Book 7 is here. Now, this one's been on my radar for a little while, too. To Clutch a Razor, coming out by Veronica Roth. That's also coming out on September 16th. I wasn't sure at first, but now I'm sold. Just listen to this. A funeral, a heist, a mission born of desperation. When someone in Demeter's family dies, I hope I pronounced that right, he calls back home for the empty night, a funeral rite intended to keep evil at bay. The secret Demeter is keeping from them makes returning home downright dangerous, but if he wants to get his hands on a book of curses that might appease Baba Yaga's bloodlust... Baba Yaga? Yeah, it's Baba Yaga. It starts with a J. Don't give me Jaga Yaga, you know what I'm saying. He has no choice. And when that same funeral brings Nico, a ferocious creature of legend, to town for his own bloody purpose, Demeter's charade becomes impossible to maintain. Family gatherings can be brutal. Demeter's might just be fatal. You know you want to read that. You do. Now this one we've already talked about, and of course this one's on my list. I loved book 1. I did get the ARC for book 2, which my daughter promptly stole from me. I've gotten a hold of another copy of it now, so I'm going to be reading it soon, hopefully. But Holly Black's Thief of Night, which is the sequel to Book of Night, is finally coming out. It's dropping September 23rd. There's always been something wrong with Charlie Hall. Crooked from the day she was born, never made a bad decision she wasn't willing to double down on. She may be good enough to steal a shadow from a tower, but will she be good enough to steal back a heart? Now, I do know that's a book 2. The only reason I told you the little synopsis about it is because I really don't think it gives anything away. But Book of Night was great. I've been waiting for Thief of Night for a hot minute, and we will be reading that. It is sneaking itself into the TBR somewhere. Now, this one has definitely got my attention, and I probably would have skipped right over it if I hadn't read the synopsis. So listen to this one. It's The Heist of Hollow London. Yes, everybody does love a good heist story, but wait for it. It's by Eddie Robson. It's coming out September 30th, end of the month. In a game of betrayal, everyone loses. Arlo and Drian, another name I'm hoping I'm saying correctly, are maids, clones of company executive, deemed important enough to be saved should their health fail. Maids, and this is MADES, work around the clock to pay off the debt incurred by their creation, though most are reaped, killed, and harvested for organs when their corporate counterparts are in medical need. But when the impossible happens and the too-big-to-fail company that owns them collapses, Arlo and Drian find themselves purchased by a scientist who has a job for them. The reward? Debt paid off, freedom from servitude, and enough cash to last a lifetime. The job? Infiltrate a highly secure corporate reclamation facility in the heart of dead London and steal a data drive. They're going to need a team. It's a team heist. I got to check it out. Looking forward to that one. Also dropping September 30th, Silver and Lead by Shauna McGuire is coming out. This is the latest one in the October Day series. Something is rotten and fairy, and then it says in the aftermath. So if you are not already reading the series, I don't want to give the rest of this away. You're either reading the Day series or you're not. But this is the latest book in that series, and it's coming out. Just wanted you to know. But you should be reading the series. That's all I'm saying. You really should. All right. This one was originally not on my radar, but I just found out about it. It's coming out September 2nd. It is trade paperback, but it does say trade paperback original, which I usually take to mean that there was no hardcover for this one. KJ Parker's Making History is coming out. History isn't truth, it's propaganda. Seeking war with his neighbor, the tyrannical ruler of Alia, convenes several of his kingdom's professors for a chat. First citizen Gyges only just invaded Alia a few years back, and naturally his public image can't take the hit of another unjustified assault. His totally sane solution? Simple, really. These scholars must construct a fake ancient city from scratch to verify Gyges' apocryphal claims. Now these academics must put their heads together to make history, because if they don't, they'll lose their heads altogether. This one sounds like it's going to be wonderfully fun and ridiculously stupid, and I'm here for it. And then, on September 9th, Paul Cornell's Gnomes of Lichford come out. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It is not the first book in a series, so I'm going to try to be a little careful on this one, but I will tell you a little bit just to whet your appetite. I'm definitely going to have to go back and check the original. But just this first couple of line is enough to have gotten my attention. Gnomes, witches, and podcasters. Yeah, you heard me right. clash for the future of the village of Lichford in this delightful conclusion of the Witches of Lichford series. An unlikely group of supernatural creatures terrorizes the sleepy village of Lichford. Okay, they're gnomes. That's not a spoiler. You worked it out from the title. Again, I have not read the previous book, so I'm not going to talk about the rest of it in case that spoils anything from book one. But yeah, they had me at Gnomes, Witches, and Podcasters, so I'm going to have to see where that one goes. I am going to have to go back and find book one in that series and give it a try. All right, another book I've been looking forward to. I'm actually going to have the author on towards the end of the month. Daedalus is Dead by Seamus Sullivan. I hope I didn't mispronounce that, Seamus. I'm pretty sure I said it right. That's coming out September 30th. A delirious and gripping story of fatherhood and masculinity told through the reimagined Greek myth of Daedalus, Icarus, King Minos, Ariadne. I don't know if I said that right. And the Minotaur. Pretty sure I said that one right. Daedalus of Crete is many things. The greatest architect in the world, the constructor of the labyrinth that imprisoned the Minotaur, and the grieving father of Icarus, who plunged into the sea as father and son flew from the grasp of the tyrannical King Minos. Minos. I think it's Minos. I could make a stupid "it's all Greek to me" joke, but let's just say that, names are not my strong suit. Now Daedalus seeks to reunite with Icarus in the underworld, even as he revisits his own memories of Crete, hoping to understand what went so terribly wrong at the end of his son's life. Daedalus will confront any terror to see Icarus again, whether it be the vengeful spirit of Minos, the cunning queen Persephone, or the insatiable ghost of the Minotaur. But the truth, stalking Daedalus in the labyrinth of his own heart, might be too monstrous for him to bear. All right, checking that one out. This one, I'm going to show it to you in the thing, but the cover, if nothing else, got my attention, combined with this title. Sarah Gailey has a new book coming out called Spread Me. Comes out September 23rd. And let's just talk about it. All right. Kinsey has the perfect job as the team leader in a remote research outpost. She loves the isolation and the way the desert keeps temptations from the civilian world far out of reach. When her crew discovers a mysterious specimen buried deep in the sand, Kinsey breaks quarantine and brings it into the hab. But the longer it's inside, the more her carefully controlled life begins to unravel. Temptation has found her after all, and it can't be ignored any longer. One by one, Kinsey's team realizes that the thing they're studying is in search of a new host, and one of them is the perfect candidate. Yeah, gonna be checking that one out, just as soon as I can fit it into the TBR. Okay, getting towards the end, I promise. This one was a long list, but there's a lot of good books coming out this month. The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre, which is a title that could only be brought to you by Philip Fracassi? I want to say Fracassi. I don't know if I'm saying Philip's name right. Philip, I apologize. I really think it's Fracassi. I could be wrong. That one's coming out September 30th. Rose Dubois is not your average final girl. Rose is in her late 70s, living out her golden years at the Autumn Springs Retirement Home. When one of her friends dies alone in her apartment, Rose isn't too concerned. Accidents happen, especially at this age. Then another resident drops dead, and another. With bodies stacking up, Rose can't help but wonder, are these accidents, old age, or something more sinister? Together with her best friend Miller, Rose begins to investigate. The further she digs, the more convinced she becomes. There's a killer on the loose in Autumn Springs, and if she isn't careful, Rose may be their next victim. Now, I don't know why. This is not normally my type of storyline, but I think there was something about the description and the fact that I've heard great things about Philip's writing that I just got to give this one a try. And then, of course, Ursula T. Kingfisher coming up with a new book in the Sworn Soldier series. I won't go into too many details. Book one, which I have read, was definitely a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. But she did definitely put her own stamp on it. Trust me, Fall of the House of Usher was tiny. Kingfisher's novella was even bigger. She definitely filled some parts out there. Some characters got some new life in them. Well, I use the term life loosely, but you know what I mean. And anyhow, book 3 is coming out. I'm going to be picking it up. I love book 1. I've got book 2. I just haven't read it yet. Book 3 is also going to be on the list. I'm not going to give you too much information because some of the information is probably going to spoil some stuff from book 2. Don't want to do that. But again, if you're already reading this series, you know you're going to pick it up. If you're not reading this series, check it out. T. Kingfisher completely puts her own stamp on The Fall of the House of Usher, and it's definitely its own story. And it's T. Kingfisher. Just pick it up. Now I've got a bunch of ones that I've just got very small synopsis on. A lot of the ones that I just told you about, I got from Tor, and Tor always does a great job on giving me all the information I need. Pick this one up from a library website. Some of these are authors I definitely have heard of before, and some of them are just ones that sounded ridiculously well, whether I knew anything about the author or not. In fact, I don't even have the specific dates. I just know that these are all supposed to be coming out in September, so I apologize for that. Ron Rindo has a book coming out called Life and Death and Giants. Set in a small town in Wisconsin, Rindo's latest tells the tale of Gabriel, a 17-year-old boy who is nearly 8 feet tall, and the people who are transformed by their encounters with him. I really don't know too much more about this. I do know that it is fiction, but I want to see where he goes with this story. This little bit of a description whetted my appetite just enough that I want to see what's happening. 2, We Love You, Bunny, which actually Scribner was nice enough to have already sent me a copy. That's from Simon & Schuster, if I remember correctly. If Scribner's not part of Simon & Schuster, I apologize. I think they are, though. Anyhow, this is book 2 in a series. I won't go into any details. I'll just tell you what I told you when I did the book haul. It's supposedly Heathers meets Frankenstein. I haven't gotten to it yet, but that's because I want to pick up book 1, and this is book 2. Yeah, I'm down for it. I want to see where that goes. Next on my list, I apologize now. Hika Harada. I hope I said your name right. Dinner at the Night Library. It's literary fiction. It is translated from the Japanese, so this wasn't originally a foreign language book. Harada offers a healing fiction title grounded more in reality than fantasy. It's about a library in Tokyo that is only open at night, houses books by deceased authors, and has a cafe that serves meals inspired by those books. I have been getting more and more into a lot of the Japanese authors that have been translated in English, and this one just sounds like one I wanted to give a chance. All right, The Bells by Lacey N. Dunham. This is a dark academia series. I have been reading more and more of that lately. I want to see where this one goes. Set during the 1950s at the secluded Bellarton College, where outsider Dina Williams will do anything to fit in with her privileged classmates. Dark academia, I want to see where that one goes. And then, this is my last one. All right. This one I'm picking up completely on the fact that I loved the last book I read by this author. M.L. Rio's got a new one out called Hot Wax. I loved Graveyard Shift, so I want to check this one out. Rock and roll road trip novel in which Suzanne leaves her quiet suburban life behind to find answers about her past and maybe get her old self back too. The description, like I said, is not anything that would have made me jump to make me pick this up at the bookstore. But M.L. Rio's got a little bit of author credit with me after her last book, and I kind of want to see where she goes with it. I know this one was quite a bit of a long list here, but there's just too many good books coming out this month, and I wanted to share with you which ones I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to get to all of them. You're not going to get to all, well, most of you are not going to get to all of them, let's face it. But I hope you found something on this list you liked. If you know about something that is coming out in September that I missed, especially if it's by an indie author, drop them down in the comments. I would love to hear about them and share them with everybody else. That's what this is all about, is helping you find great reads and great authors and make a connection. Appreciate you guys. Catch you later.